I think Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, because it is probably the most profound and also the most risk-taking. It combines the additional element to our famous mixing of the genres. And that's kind of, I think, why Peter Jackson and Quentin Tarantino and these guys sort of like what I've done. Poultrygeist adds in the element of musical, the singing and dancing, along with the beautiful several limbs and incredible satirical political commentary and sociological investigation. It's also an anti-fast food movie, and I'm very passionate about that. Even though I had Twizzlers for lunch, but Twizzlers are okay. Oh no, actually they're not okay because they use the hoofs from the animals. They shouldn't be doing it. Yes.
Is Poultrygeist on DVD now?
Poultrygeist came out on a collectible, limited edition, 3-disc DVD box set, but they were numbered. There were 15,000 only, and that has been sold out. But the good news is there is a 2-disc box set coming out very soon, on which there'll be unlimited numbers of them.
Does the Two Boots video store carry it?
When it comes out, they will have it, I'm sure. Yeah, they usually have most of the Troma movies. Is Two Boots, now I've heard that Two Boots.
What's left of it.
Yeah, they're much
now
smaller.
It's much smaller.
But their pizza stores, I believe, are expanding. So it tells you something about our independent industry. It's a very difficult era for independent art and commerce. I am the chairman of something called the Independent Film and Television Alliance. The Independent Film and Television Alliance is the trade association for the independent movie industry. We have about 150 members. Roger Corman's company is a member, Troma, obviously, the guys who made Monster, Mark Damon's company, Oscar-winning movie called Monster, the guys who made Crash, the guys who financed $1 Million Baby. So there's a variety of independent companies that are members of the Independent Film and Television Alliance. And I was elected chairman, which shows you how desperate the industry is. No, sorry. I was elected chairman on the platform of lobbying in Washington to try to educate the Congress and the opinion makers and the FCC that the independent world of art and information and newspapers are being smothered and strangled by a small group of giant international media conglomerates, and to try to get the government and the opinion makers to be aware of the fact that Reagan and Clinton got rid of the rules that used to prevent monopoly, and those rules are the reason that everyone wonders why were the 70s so full of truly independent movies and television. That was because of the consent decree, which prevented the conglomerates from owning movie theaters or controlling movie theaters. And there was also a rule called the financial syndication rule, which prevented the television networks from owning the content. The TV networks were required to license at least 35% of their content from independent sources. And that's when you got the Jeffersons, and that's when they started having female directors, and there was a little bit of diversity that came in through that breath of fresh air. But on Clinton's watch, this rule was done away with. So as a result, you now have a very small, practically nothing is independent on television unless it comes in through one of the vassals of the majors, like a Sony Classics or a whatever, one of the vassals. And if and when an independent film does get into the American television system, and it could be a European film or an American film or TV program, the independents get a very much smaller revenue. We get a much smaller payment than the equivalent film that would get in through an output deal with one of the majors. Monster, which is an independent film, which won an Oscar, got much less than Full Monty, which was, I don't even think it won an Oscar, but it was a successful movie, but it came in through Fox output deal. So we are trying to make some noise and kick up some dust and see if perhaps we can get the attention of some of the congressional committee leaders and perhaps prompt hearings about the situation with the media, because media consolidation is a very dangerous thing. The internet is being colonized. As you know, Murdoch bought MySpace, and Hulu is owned by NBC, Fox, and now Time Warner is joining, and they're colonizing more and more of the internet. And the MPAA, which is the trade association for the majors, the MPAA, which heretofore, until I got elected to IFTA, the MPAA was speaking for the entire film industry, and Washington figured, well, that's it. And now we've kicked up some dust, so the MPAA is now listening a bit to our trade association. But the MPAA has come out against net neutrality on the internet. The MPAA has come out against diversity on the internet. The MPAA has come out against the only democratic medium left. So we are fighting very, very aggressively to preserve what is called net neutrality, namely the internet being open and free and democratic and diverse, which is one of the key words today, as you know. So if anybody wants a diverse art world, you guys should write to your elected representatives and let them know that you'll be very pissed off if the internet suddenly becomes totally colonized by NBC. You know, the NBC is part of Universal, which is part of General Electric. Murdoch owns Fox, which owns News Corp, which owns the Wall Street Journal, which owns a huge amount of stuff like MySpace. Sony owns everything else, and whatever. It's a cartel, which should be illegal. And colonization, as Sarah will tell you, the history major, colonization has never worked. You can ask the French. In the back, yes.
Do you think there's anything to be optimistic about in regards to...
Yes, there's something to be very optimistic about, because for the first time, the making of cinema has been democratized. For the first time, anyone can make, and that's why this book is such a good book, because it makes it easy. Anyone can make his or her own damn movie. And the fact that we, idiots who've have been able to make movies for 40 years with head crushings and sexually confused hermaphrodites running around and rewriting Shakespeare 90% and stuff like that. And the fact that we could survive for all that time doing that kind of stuff, anyone can do it. And now, where you can make a movie for nothing, you don't need any money to make a movie. And these little teeny cameras are very easy to stick. You know, you go to Best Buy, just put it on your coat and walk out. Don't even need to buy a camera. So that is the good news, and hopefully there will be a tsunami of wonderful no-budget movies that will swamp the $100 million baby food stuff that we're getting brainwashed about from our newspapers, TV, and because of all that vertically integrated so-called news that you see on the Today Show is basically, it's all advertising. It's all brainwashing the little kids eating their Fruit Loops in the morning, and that's one of the themes of Poultrygeist, namely that the media puts the Kool-Aid in the water, the media which is owned by the conglomerates puts the Kool-Aid in the water, and we, the public, start drinking it, and we go off to fast food and eat all that crap, and then have to then become